Hi everyone, I'm Mallory, one of the co-creators of Hope and Plum, and I'm going to do a quick tutorial today on how to thread the sling as well as position it on your body in order to get your baby in. The way that I'm going to show getting the sling on your body is to put it onto my shoulder and then position it that way. You can also hold it in your hands and position it that way as well. That can be a good way if you're in the car and you can't get out yet, you can position it quickly by holding the rings and then threading it that way. It'll just require a bit more adjusting and positioning once you get it on your body. So the first thing that you're going to want to do in order to get this sling on your body is figure out which shoulder you'd like to wear it on. I prefer to wear it on my left shoulder, so that's where I'm going to place my rings. You're going to bring it around the back of your body and put the rings on your shoulder, right about corsage position. Now is a good time to typically move your hair out of the way if you have long hair. And then I'll go ahead and just kind of open up my shoulder, so that way my bottom seam is down here, my top seam is up here, and then it's kind of spread out across my body. I'm going to grab the tail and I'm going to bring it around. You can see I have the top of the sling right here and the bottom is right down here. So what I'll do is I will grab the bottom and just kind of bunch it up and meet the top. And then I'm going to switch hands, grab it in this hand. And I'm going to come back over here to my rings. I'm going to grab my fabric, meet my hands in my rings, and pull the fabric through. And now what you want to do is just make sure that you still have your top seam is right here. Top seam is all the way through, bottom seam also all the way through. And then what I'll do is just open the rings right here, and I'm going to bring that fabric over the top and under the bottom. And then you're going to want to adjust the fabric through the ring so that way it's easy for you to adjust it once you get your baby on your body. Usually what I like to do is kind of open the rings a little bit. I'm pushing down on the bottom and opening the top, and I kind of bring out a little bit of extra fabric because I find that it's easier to figure out where the fabric is if you have a little bit of extra to work with. So I've got the top seam right here. You can see this is the top seam, and I'm going to hold that with my thumb right here, and then I'm going to find the bottom seam over here, which can get a little tricky. Sometimes it gets a little lost in there. Always just feel for that bulky seam. And then there is the bottom seam. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over here and kind of just grab all that fabric. And then there's that bottom seam. And then I've got it all kind of fanned out right there. And then if you need to, you can always kind of fan it out down here too. And then what you'll want to do is then pull it through a little bit. Just go slow so you can keep it nice and spread out. And then that way it's all ready for you to adjust through. Now, in order to get it ready for your baby, I usually move my rings up a little bit so they're right under my shoulder. And then you have your pouch right here. And what I like to do is use my arm to adjust my pouch for what size baby I'm going to be putting it in. I have a small baby, so I'll adjust a little smaller than most people. And you're going to want to pull that top third and bring it across the body of you or your baby when you're adjusting. Again, the middle third and then that bottom third, you kind of bring it across. And then that allows this to not bunch, the threading to not bunch right there. So this is probably a teeny bit too big for my son, but that's okay because I can always adjust it. But this might be a good size for someone who's a little bit older of an infant. You'll know best, based upon your baby. And I always say you usually want to go a little bit smaller than you think, because I think we have an idea that we need more space here, but we usually don't, then that requires, if we have more space here, then we require more adjusting, and it can bring your rings down as you adjust. So that's something to be concerned, or just to think about as you're making your pouch the size that you want it to be. And then what you want to do is kind of make sure that your bottom seam is down your back, your top seam is up right there, and then you can always adjust the bulk through your shoulder. That way it's ready and good to go when you have your child. And then you're ready to get your kiddo in. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'm going to do a legs out video next, and you'll be able to see how I get my son in while it's threaded on my body.